Hey everyone, this is PM Sport Talk, the father and son duo podcast. I'm your host Preston alongside my father Mike and dad. How are we doing today?
Hey, I'm doing great. Probably might have had a heart attack last night, but I'm doing well. Let's get into it.
An exciting week of football. It's getting to that time where football is coming to an end, playoffs start. We head over to college football to begin our episode today, where the first game played of the college football playoff quarterfinal was between Miami and Ohio State, where Miami in the Cotton Bowl at E10 just absolutely dominated, I'd say.
Yeah, I did not expect that right from the get-go. It really dominated that first quarter, got out to a lead, and for the first time, well, maybe the second time this year, I could see Julian saying kind of had a hard time dealing with a big game, the pressure of a big game.
Mm-hmm.
But it really shouldn't be that big of a surprise, considering he's a first-time quarterback, first-year starting quarterback. And that Miami team, even though they had 2 losses, they're loaded with NFL talent on that team. Those 2 losses are kind of hard to explain. They easily could have went undefeated. I really think that they're that good, and so I expected this to be close, but like you said, that first half they really dominated. Ohio State came back in the second half, made it interesting, but then Miami had that great drive to finish up the game.
Right.
So hats off to Miami. I think it's really hard in this day and age for a team to repeat. It was going to be hard for Ohio State, even though they were the basically the number 1 team all season long, until the final championship game against Indiana there. But I'm not surprised that Miami won, but just a really great game, and Ohio State just it's a lot to ask to repeat.
Yeah, I'm not surprised at all. To be quite frank, disappointing end of the season for the Buckeyes, but they played good all year. Like you said, it's hard to repeat. And it seems to me these teams that get the first round bye tend to struggle, and kind of evident here. Miami has a really good. The story of the game for them was their defense. They had 5 sacks. Ruben Bain is a really good player. They are loaded.
Messidor on the other side.
Yep. And then you got Keontae Scott with the huge pick 6 as well. So Miami, man, they just dominated the first half, no question. Ohio State was pretty impressive for the second half. And then, like you said, the last drive of the game, that was the nail in the coffin.
Yeah, they not only do they have a great defense, they have a very good offensive line. And their one, I think he's their tackle. I'm not positive. I don't know if he's tackle or guard, but he's projected to be a top 5 pick. So they got, I thought I heard on this broadcast that they possibly have 5 picks in the top 15, something like that, which is unreal. Miami, back when I was your age in the heyday, they were like this all the time. They were just loaded with NFL talent, and they're kind of getting back to that. So especially with this team, I think their only maybe weakness is the quarterback, and he's not like he's a bad quarterback. He's just not, he's steady. He's not going to wow you, but he's steady. He's played a lot of football games. He is a winner, though. I have to give him that. I think I saw where he's like 38 and 6 or something like that in his college career, which is very good. So obviously when you play for Georgia and Miami, you're going to have good records. But right. He is a winner. I got to give him that. So he gets things done. He doesn't have flashy stats, but if he doesn't make mistakes, that team is very hard to beat.
Right. Yeah, the Louisville game, he had 4 picks in that game, and then they lost 2 games that they probably could have won. And like you said, their record is just not even close to the team, how good of a team this is. So Uh, hats off to them. They'll be playing Thursday, I believe, um, for a spot in the national championship. So now we go on to the games after the ball drop. Two horrible games, one really good game. We'll start off with Oregon and Texas Tech. This was just a hard watch.
Yeah.
Texas Tech and Oregon. I mean, it was pretty pathetic. I don't know.
I gotta be honest with you. I hardly watched any of this game. I turned it on. I checked the score in the first or second quarter, and Oregon was up like 13-0, something like that. And I watched it for a little bit, but Texas Tech could do absolutely nothing. Not like Oregon had a ton of yards either, but Texas Tech's offense was just
it was abysmal.
And that quarterback just they're a little overrated, I think. Their defense is good. They held Oregon to, only 300 yards. So they have a good defense, but their offense just not up to the caliber that it needs to be in these type of games. And but they probably were a little overranked. Probably shouldn't have been a 4 seed or whatever they were, 3 or 4 seed.
I agree, but when you're 11-1 and you win your division,
yeah. I think
and
going forward, I shouldn't say it's always going to be this case, but the division winner out of the Big 12, I have to I understand if they have a really good record, they're going to probably get a high seed, but I just don't know if the competition level is all that there. So who knows going forward, but yeah, that was a snooze fest for sure. And Oregon, who I'm still not really sure how good Oregon is, to be honest with you.
they're a weird team.
Yeah, so they played a lot of close games this year.
I think they can hold that to a benefit in a way.
Yeah, could be. So they advance and move on, and they get the rematch with Indiana.
Yep, the 2026 Rose Bowl champions, Indiana, and I mean this was just once again one of those games where domination. Kurt Signetti, I have to say it, is a really good coach. He is one of the best. Indiana is for real, and they have a lot of people's vote to win this national championship, and rightly so.
Yeah, they are their only overwhelming favorite right now. Yeah, I sat down to watch, to kind of settle into this game, and it was already over. I was like, unbelievable. They just absolutely annihilated them. The weather there wasn't great. I mean, the field wasn't great. It was raining there and stuff, but I don't know if it was raining that much during the game, but before the game, they had a ton of rain.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that contributed to it. I don't think so, but it was just usually the Rose Bowl game it's kind of like a reprieve from winter. You see it's so sunny there and just a majestic. You see the mountains in the background and stuff at the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
And it's usually like not a cloud in the sky there. So it was weird to see that it had raining there. But anyway.
Yeah, it was a lot of rain too.
Yeah. And
you don't see it often.
No. And like I said, a lot of people thought that Alabama was going to beat Indiana.
Yep.
Because people just don't believe in Indiana yet. And I got to be honest with you, I wasn't sure myself. I kind of thought they would win, but I wasn't that big on Alabama. But I wasn't totally sure. Mm-hmm. And yeah, they just dominated them. And got to give Signetti credit. He took a team. Indiana is, up until last year, is probably the worst college football team in America for 50, 60 years.
Yeah.
And they have maybe one good year every 20, 30 years. And the fact that he's doing this.
It's truly incredible.
It is.
It's unheard of, honestly. He has absolutely revived the Hoosiers. The Hoosiers are back. They're legit. They're football contenders. And like you said, it's just all to one man. I think it's absolutely great to see a coach like that. I mean, I don't even know. You can't crack a smile out of this dude until the job is done.
Yeah, he's sometimes he's a little tough to take, but I know last year he was with his one-liners there that he had,
Oh yeah.
but this year they're backing it up. So, and he hasn't been as, I don't think, as uh vocal. I mean, he's vocal, but not as standoffish, I
Oh,
guess.
last year he was all over the place.
And he didn't, he hadn't proved himself yet last year.
Mm.
This year, he's proved himself. So if he wants to talk like that, he can. Um, but yeah, to me, it's either them or Miami winning this thing. And right now, you got to pick them right now. I mean, you just have to.
They look good. They will take on Oregon next week, or excuse me, Friday, to go to in the Peach Bowl to go to the national championship. In our last game, Ole Miss and Georgia, and the Ole Miss Rebels absolutely shocked the world
Yeah, this is a shocker.
and took down the Georgia Bulldogs with all the adversity they went through. Kiffin leaving before the playoffs, lost a bunch of their coaching staff. Kind of wasn't sure who this team was, and they pull off a game like this. It's incredible.
It's incredible. Like I told you, I went to bed. It was 21-12 Georgia in the second half. I'm like, Georgia's probably just going to win this game by, 7 to 10 points. And lo and behold, I wake up the next morning and I see the score. I'm like, are you kidding me? It's like, what the heck happened here?
Trinidad Chambliss, it is absolutely unbelievable that this dude was a D2 quarterback last year. I mean, the plays this dude was making were incredible. His draft stock definitely skyrocketed. I heard he's trying to get another year of eligibility to play another season of D1 football.
Yeah, he is.
And I think he did get that approved, so we will probably see him back with Ole Miss next year. But yeah, this dude had, I think, you know how there is heat checks in basketball? That is the equivalent to what this dude was playing like at the quarterback position. He had double-digit completions in a row. He was extending plays, and he was the story of the game here for Ole Miss.
Yeah, unbelievable. They outgained Georgia by like 140, 130 some yards, and Georgia was a lot of people's pick to win this thing. Just figured that they were coming together at the right time, and typical Georgia, with a strong defense and strong running game, and but hats off to Mississippi. That goes to show you it's hard to beat a team twice in the same season. Georgia beat Mississippi earlier in the year, and Mississippi gets payback, and kind of a Cinderella story right now. Like you said, playing kind of in spite of their coach leaving. I saw some things where the players were kind of like, good riddance and look what we're doing now and all this stuff. And good for them. It's awesome. I wonder now if their luck runs out, because sometimes when you have a coach leave like that and stuff, and the players and the coaches that are left there, it gives them a little bit of momentum, gives them something to play for. He didn't want to play for us. We'll show him. He didn't want to coach us. We'll show him all this stuff. Sometimes that doesn't always carry over to the next game. So I'm a little curious how that plays out against Miami, who, is playing as good as anybody right now. So that's a very interesting game.
It will be for sure, and it's nice to have a change.
It is.
It's great. This next game, Ole Miss and Miami, that's great. We haven't seen these two teams like in years. Ole Miss hasn't made it since I think 1960, and to a national championship. And Oregon and Indiana and Oregon, I think, have never won a national championship, if I'm not mistaken.
No, Oregon.
Oregon
Oregon did one year.
When?
Didn't they beat Jameis Winston in Florida State? Or was that a semifinal game? I can't remember. It was Marcus Mariota against Jameis Winston. Oregon won the game.
No. Oregon won that game, and then they played Ohio State, I think, and lost.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I don't think they've won a natty.
They haven't won the natty. It might have been a semifinal. Yeah, so.
And so, yeah, Miami, and then Miami hasn't won it since 2001. So.
Yeah, so it's nice to have some, instead of having Georgia, Alabama, LSU, and Ohio State, or Michigan.
Yeah.
Now we've got some new blood in there. It's nice, refreshing.
So that will be a fun week, fun little 2 games to decide.
The only thing that sucks is those 2 games are this week, and then we got to wait like almost 2 weeks before the national championship game.
Yeah.
It's like January 19th.
The scheduling is very odd.
They always have it on Monday. They should have that game the next Thursday or Friday. I know they can't do it on the weekend because of NFL playoffs, so have it on Thursday or Friday. So there's a week in between. To me, that'd be
Friday would be the best.
To me, that'd be perfect, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
They wait till Monday, and I don't know. To me, I think they lose. People, of course, people are going to watch, but it loses a little bit of its luster. It's not as fresh in your mind, like, so but doesn't seem like they're ever going to change that because they've been doing it that way for a while now. So,
yeah, it's always been a Monday. So, well, 2 good games it looks like, and hopefully semifinals don't disappoint. Now we head into the big leagues, the NFL, where we had a Week 18, and it took till the final play of the final game of the NFL season, but we are finally in playoff mode.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot going on this weekend, but the few games that there were good. And
let's start with Saturday. The first game of the week was the Panthers and Bucks, and the Buccaneers ended up winning this game, but it didn't win the division, as later on Atlanta would take down New Orleans to give Carolina the NFC South.
Yeah, crazy scenario there. If Carolina had won, they would have won the division. But if Tampa won, which they did, you had to wait till Sunday to find out with the tiebreaker situation. I think they really screwed that. I really think they should have had that game and the Atlanta game at the same time.
Correct.
They should have put a different game here on Saturday. But that's the way they did it, so whatever.
And there was some officiating in this game that was god awful. I feel like it's worth discussion. We'll start with the backwards pass shenanigans with Rico Dowdle. So Brad Allen, if it's a backwards pass and Rico Dowdle picks it up and you blow it incomplete, you can't just go back and be like, "Yep, the ball went out of bounds." This doesn't make any sense.
The ball went out of bounds. It never went out of bounds.
Dowdle picked it up because you got and didn't run.
Yeah,
because you guys called it incomplete.
Right.
At that point, just leave it as incomplete and move on.
Yeah. That's ridiculous. You blew the whistle, so this whole that's twice now we've seen some messy, screwy things with his backward passes, and it's crazy. It doesn't make any sense. And Brad Allen, if you watch that guy and his refereeing crew, they are probably one of the worst ones. They're always huddling together because every single play it seems like they don't know what they're doing and they're trying to and it's very choppy. There's no flow to their games. And
I think after this game, I don't want to see his crew do a single playoff game. He's gonna screw some team over.
Yep.
I mean, goodness gracious, it's ridiculous. That was just one of many. There was one where McMillan got called for offensive pass interference where he was just hand fighting with the dude at the line of scrimmage pretty much, 2 yards off of it. Then Cade Otton trips over his own feet, and then Nick Scott gets called for pass interference.
Yeah. So,
I mean, what are we doing here?
They totally screwed over the Panthers, and thank God that it didn't cost them the playoff berth, but it certainly could have. And
now I'm not going to sit here and say that was the sole reason why they lost. I mean, that fumble down at where the Tampa 20 was just inexcusable, but yeah, that reffing was very, very poor. Uh, and I don't know, with all this coach firing going on, I'm very surprised that Todd Bowles still has his job.
Yeah, that's crazy, isn't it? There's been a ton of them today, and that was one of the first ones I thought I'd see was him, especially after his tirade on his press conference there a few weeks ago, where he left about 30 f-bombs, which you never see a head coach do.
And I think he threw a lot of blame at his players. He didn't take a single ounce of accountability.
He said the coaches didn't deserve any accountability, just the players. And yeah, so not winning the division, finishing 8-9. I mean, you may see it tomorrow. He may get fired, but I don't know. Usually it happens pretty quick.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, usually they don't waste too much time with that. I mean, yesterday, Raheem Morris, it was word around the league that his job was safe, and next thing you know, a couple hours later, he's out of Atlanta. So these teams don't waste time. I mean, so we'll see what goes on with as far as coaching goes. Now we move on to some other games. The Seahawks and Niners, Seahawks domination, and they are headed to the playoffs as the number 1 seed.
Everybody, including me, the way the 49ers offense has been humming lately, I really thought Seattle was going to have a hard time winning this game in San Francisco.
Me as well.
And man, they went in there and just totally shut them out. The 49ers could not do a thing. And Sam Darnold played just well enough, and they ran the ball good, really good.
Yep.
And just dominated that game. I mean, the score should have been a lot worse than it is.
Right, 13-3.
They just, the Seahawks offense isn't like a juggernaut either, but it's San Francisco. I didn't think that they'd be able to stop them at home like that. And wow, it just goes. That defense is a lot better. I knew it was good, but I didn't realize it was that good.
They absolutely shut down McCaffrey.
He hasn't been shut down at that all season.
No, it's been years, actually,
Yeah.
I'd like to say.
He always gets his, even when they lose, he always gets his yards, and he's the main guy, and he couldn't do anything.
Their leading receiver is Juwan Jennings, 35 yards. I mean, gosh. Wow.
Yeah, Purdy only threw for a little over 100 yards, had an interception. Yeah, and
now the NFC runs through Seattle, and that is not an easy place by any circumstance to play football.
The only thing, and I mean the only thing that's going to keep Seattle out of the Super Bowl is Sam Darnold. That's the only thing that can.
Yeah.
If he does not make mistakes, they have a very good shot. But if he reverts into old Sam Darnold, what he does sometimes in these big games, then you don't know.
Yeah.
They're right. Then anything, it's all. Who knows?
And then if Sam Darnold has a hiccup to start one of these games, he needs to have some sort of game like the Los Angeles game, right?
Where he comes in.
Where he comes in that second half and absolutely lights it up. I mean, Sam Darnold, it's on him. Like you said, I mean, we've seen how these big games go with him, and we need to see more. I mean, he did get that one game against the Rams, which was a huge game. Did what he had to in this one, even though it wasn't pretty. They escaped and got the number 1 seed. Now we got to see what he has. And with the defense, you should feel very comfortable right now if you're Sam Darnold in Seattle, playing for a Super Bowl.
Yeah. It's kind of funny. It was just the week before this game. I listened to talk radio all the time, and every single expert, everybody was like, "Oh," and all the callers that were calling in, they're all like, "Yeah, it's San Francisco. I don't see how anybody's going to stop San Francisco. They're not going to have to leave home. Because the Super Bowl's there. They're just going to play their playoff games there and right to the Super Bowl." And it's amazing how things change in 1 week. They go from who everybody thought might be the 1 seed, now they're the 6 seed.
Yeah,
and
it's incredible.
I would bet they don't win their first playoff game. I think they'll be 1-0. And
who are they playing?
Philadelphia.
Wow,
in Philadelphia.
I mean, the NFC has some great wild card matchups.
They do.
It's insane.
So
we'll see how that goes. And we gotta keep it moving here. I don't know. Do we go right to the final game of the year, or is there another game?
The not the Vikings. The only other games that I were really interested in yesterday was I was a little interesting watching the late games, the Commanders, Eagles, and the Lions.
Well, let's
Bears.
go Commanders, Eagles. Yeah. How about Josh Johnson defeating the Philadelphia Eagles, and now the Bears are the 2 seed, Eagles 3.
Yeah, that was the interesting thing because the Eagles didn't play their starters, and the Bears did. And
the Bears lost.
And the Bears lost to Detroit, which, Detroit, just I don't care what their record is, they're still pretty good. So the Eagles had an opening there to, get to the 2 seed, which is really important because you can get 2 home games instead of just 1.
Right.
And maybe even 3 if the 1 seed gets knocked out. So anyway, but I don't blame him for not playing his starters because he couldn't control.
It's the right call. It's like you said, because Bears have the head-to-head.
Yeah, so if the Bears won, there's no way they get the 3 seed. So you had to hope that they lost. So what happens if you play your starters and somebody gets hurt and the Bears win and you still can't get the 2 seed? It was just a waste of time. So I don't blame him at all. He probably did the right thing there. But it was interesting to see how that was going to go because those games were very close. Even though they didn't play their starters, they only lost by 7, and the Bears ended up losing. And so that was interesting part of those 2 games to maybe see the 2 and 3 seed flip-flop, but ended up that Chicago retained it, and that's big for them. They have to play Green Bay, who's reeling, really hurt right now.
Yeah.
Instead of San Francisco. So I think that's
huge.
Huge.
We'll go to Lions and Bears. Ben Johnson after the game kind of was on this weird rant about he doesn't agree with the benching the starters type thing, which based on his past comments, people think he's targeting LaFleur. I don't know. It kind of adds a little bit more bulletin board material, I guess, for the Packers if they want to use it that way, whether that was his intent or not. But yeah, the Lions, like you said, still a good football team. They end up playing their starters in this one, and Jake Bates gets a late field goal to defeat the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with the Lions' offense. It was, their defense is like it was last year, just decimated with injuries. That's what happened to them. So you knew they were going to put up points, just a matter of how many Chicago was going to put up. And I don't know how hard Chicago played. I don't know. Sometimes in a game like that, when you know you're in the playoffs already, I don't know if the intensity is as high as it could be. I don't know. Yeah. I'm not giving excuses. I'm just, Detroit's a good team. Anybody could lose to Detroit, so it's not like. Right. So, but yeah. The interesting there is Chicago comes into the playoffs with a 2-game losing streak now. They were everybody's darling there a couple of weeks ago. Caleb Williams flying high, and then they have two losing games. Even though that game against San Francisco, their offense played really well and stuff. But we'll have to see how they handle the playoffs.
So now it's interesting because Detroit has beaten Ben Johnson 2 times now.
Yeah.
One time in their house and another time in Soldier Field. Which is pretty crazy.
It is crazy. That's gonna be kind of a rivalry going forward with those two with the history of those 2 teams.
Right
now with the coaches, and it makes it interesting. But Chicago has a last laugh this year because they're in the playoffs and Detroit's not. But that can easily change next year. But that's something to see down the road. But
for sure. Well, here we go.
The big one.
The final game of the regular season absolutely did not disappoint if you're a casual NFL fan. Ravens and Steelers. 26-24 was the final, and like I said, it took till the final play to decide which one of these teams was the AFC North champion.
This game, I tell you, right from the get-go, had us on fire because, the Ravens jump out to a 10-0 lead, and we're like, here we go. We're going to get throttled in this game because the Steelers couldn't do anything. Then it just changes. And the Steelers have this big, huge drive at the end of the second quarter, and they don't end up getting points, but they kind of took control of the game there.
I would say so, yeah.
They didn't get points because they went for it on fourth and goal. Not fourth and goal, but they had a pass interference. They only had time for one play at the end zone, first and goal from the 1. So they decided, well, do we take the field goal or do we go for it? They went for it. I told you at the time I thought they should have kicked the field goal. Would have made the game 10-6, instead of 10-3.
Yeah, plus you get that ball at half. I think if Baltimore got the ball at half, I think that decision would have been different. But the Steelers thought, hey, let's try to maybe stack on points. Didn't work. Play call just didn't work out because of the way the Ravens defense was lined up. Thought Rodgers should have audibled out of that play, but nonetheless, they didn't get points there. Then the second half was very exciting, back and forth action. It was incredible how the Ravens were able to get 2 plays where Zay Flowers was just absolutely wide open. I mean,
yeah, 2 blown coverages. I don't know this, but it sure looked like it was Jalen Ramsey both times.
it was.
Like you said, he was.
I don't know if it was just the formation they were in, because it looked like, I don't know why, but Jalen Ramsey on that second one was just sitting in the middle of the field as sort of like a linebacker type role, and then Zay Flowers just zooms past, not a Steeler in sight. There you go.
Yeah, he was 30 yards down the field. He had nobody. And it's just crazy. Lamar gets out of – he should have been sacked for one thing on the first one, right? It was the first one, I think. 2 guys kind of run into each other. I have no idea how he got out of that and just throws up a prayer, and that's the one, that they kind of stopped playing because I think they thought he was going to get sacked, which you should never do. But anyway, plus they were so zoned in, and they did a good job on Derrick Henry after that first run there.
Yeah.
That they were, like you said, it was the way they were playing. They were not going to let Derrick Henry beat them. They were like, we'll live with Lamar. If he beats us, he beats us. They were not letting Derrick Henry beat him. So I think that contributed to those 2 bombs that he threw there. But, yeah. But in the third quarter, the Steelers just dominated. The Ravens threw on one possession threw an interception, on the other possession they were 3 and out. And that was it. And Steelers were taking control, but they just weren't ahead by enough. And that fourth quarter came, and sure enough, that's when those 2 bombs happened, and it was back and forth, and just a crazy heart attack game as a fan. And
you always see that as a Steelers fan as well,
especially against this team. I don't know what it is, but
that once they get that 4th down play to Likely, boy, that looked like ball game. I mean, Loop hasn't missed a field goal from inside 50 all year, but the moment is bigger than the amount of yards.
Yeah, that's just it. Boswell misses the extra point on the go-ahead touchdown for Pittsburgh.
Right.
And then Baltimore, like I said, on a 4th and 7, you're like, wow, this is over if we get a stop on 4th and 7. And Lamar throws up another Hail Mary, and Likely on a catch he probably only makes 1 out of 10 times because he really had to reach for that.
Yeah.
And
that was a very tough and good catch.
He makes that. Ramsey kind of misjudged it because he was there. He should have been able to knock it down or pull his arms away or something, but he kind of misjudged it.
Yeah.
It's not like he was out of position or anything. He was there. And then, like you said, we're like, well, this is it. And then the Ravens did one thing that was kind of crazy. They had like 12 to 14 seconds left, and they had a timeout left. Instead of running the ball, I thought they would run the ball with Henry one more time to try to get extra yards or something, or a quick pass.
No, they just took the knee and centered it.
Yeah, Lamar just centered it, and they let the clock run down and called timeout. And 44 yards, you think, not a big deal. But when it's cold and in that stadium and a rookie kicker, you saw the result. And
Absolutely.
I mean, it was bad. It was wide right from the get-go.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe another 5 yards wouldn't have mattered. But I don't know. It's just zany. And, man, that is one for the ages. Do you remember the Antonio Brown game?
Yes.
On Christmas Day. But that wasn't for the playoffs.
That was.
I think it was for the division. But it wasn't necessarily to make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
This was in or out and just crazy.
Yep. Those winner go home games, they very rare that they disappoint. So just incredible finish. Incredible week of football, incredible playoffs coming up, and an incredible week of plays of the week. Coming from Miami and Ohio State, say and play fake, throws, Keontae Scott jumps the route, you can kiss him goodbye. Touchdown Canes.
What a play. Oh, my, that defense was just on fire in that game.
Unbelievable. Right when the ball reached his hands, goodbye.
You think they're going in to tie the score, and boom, next thing you know, it's 14-0.
Coming from Ole Miss and Georgia, Trinidad Chambliss, pressured, running around, running out of places to go. Chambliss extending the play. Chambliss fires, caught, Lacey, first down, Ole Miss.
What a play. Unbelievable.
Coming from Bengals and Browns, Burrow under pressure. Myles Garrett has done it. The 23rd sack on the year and the record.
Yeah, he finally got it. I don't really like how that happened, but he got it.
Yeah. Without a doubt, no matter who you like, one of the best defensive ends to ever play.
It just seemed like he went down real easy.
Oh, yeah. Coming from Ravens and Steelers, Jackson, under pressure, gets out of it. Jackson fires downfield for Zay Flowers. Got him. Touchdown, Baltimore.
What a play from Lamar. Should have been sacked, and he ends up getting a bomb for a touchdown.
Well, you thought the first one was nice? Let's make it twice. Jackson, downfield. It's Flowers. Flowers, unbelievable. 64 yards to the house.
Unbelievable. This is the one I was talking about where Ramsey was lost. I don't know what he was doing.
The fake pitch and Zay Flowers. I mean, a black jersey at the very least was 20 yards away.
At least.
Steelers down by 4. Rodgers third down. Looking for Austin. He is wide open. Touchdown Steelers.
And there it is, what turns out to be the game winner.
Well, the game was decided on the last play of the regular season, and it is our last play of the week from the NFL regular season. Tyler Loop from 44 yards to win the division and send Baltimore to the playoffs. Snap good, hold good, kick is up and to the right. And the Steelers, like that, win the North.
Unbelievable. He only missed 3 field goals all year. But that's the pressure.
100% was the pressure. Like I said, the pressure means more than the yardage and sometimes for these kickers. Well, Dad, that is the end of today's episode. But who was your top performer and biggest disappointer from the week?
Well, I'm going to give it to old man Rodgers. Played his best game as a Steeler, I think. He was throwing lasers out there. And you got to remember, he didn't really have anybody to throw to.
Right.
He doesn't have all-pro receivers and all-pro tight ends. And he was just in the zone in that second half last night. So he's my top performer. My biggest disappointment, that's That's a good one. Geez. I'm going to give it to, wow. Who do I give it to this week? That's a tough one. I guess I got to give it to, I'm going to give it to the 49ers.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I'm going to give it to their offense. I can't blame their defense because there are a lot of injuries, but I'm going to give it to their offense. They did absolutely nothing in that game, and a big, probably a make or break it type game for them. So,
right.
I'm going to give it to their offense.
Good picks there. My top performer, I'm going to give it to Trinidad Chambliss from Ole Miss. Played probably his best game of the season and probably the most important game for them.
Yeah,
so
best game of his life.
Yeah, 100%. And then for my biggest disappointer, Tyler Loop. Unfortunately, for Ravens fans, great for Steelers fans.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, but not for us, but for them.
Yeah, I mean, still, I don't know if there's a bigger disappointment.
Tell you, if he had made that, my biggest disappointment would have been Chris Boswell.
Oh, yeah, 100%. So you got lucky, but we're going to have to make our extra points now.
Yeah.
And just for the fun of it, what are you looking at for the national championship?
I've got Miami against Indiana. And even though I know Indiana's the favorite, are we picking the semifinals?
You can pick the winner if you want.
I'll pick Miami to beat Indiana in a nail biter. But we'll have more time to talk about that. But
right. Oregon fans wanted this rematch, and they're going to regret asking for it, in my opinion. The Hoosiers are going to win. And then give me Ole Miss. They have way too much bulletin board material to come into that game and play bad. I think they'll give Miami a run for their money and shock them. And I think the Cinderella story comes up short in the national championship, and I'm going to have the Hoosiers take down Ole Miss.
Yeah, I can see that.
So with that being said, that is the end of today's episode. Once again, I'm Preston, and that's my father, Mike, and we hope you guys have a happy new year and meet all your resolutions. You got any resolutions, Dad?
I do. I've already done pretty good at so far at the beginning of this year, 4 days in or 5 days in. I'm on a mission to get back in shape.
I like that. Similar for me, just trying to stay consistent with the gym and healthy eating. So whatever your guys' resolutions are, we hope you guys reach them and stick to them. And we'll see you guys on the next episode. Goodbye.